The Crystal Quest, a tale of bravery and treasure. Once upon a time, in a far-off kingdom, there was a young girl named Lily. She lived in a small cottage with her mother and father. Lily was a curious and adventurous girl, always seeking out new experiences and exploring the world around her. One day, as she was wandering in the forest, she stumbled upon a clearing she had never seen before. In the center of the clearing stood a tall, ancient tree with gnarled roots and branches that seemed to stretch up to the sky. As Lily approached the tree, she noticed that there was something hanging from one of its branches, a small, shimmering object that glinted in the sunlight. Intrigued, Lily reached up to take a closer look. But as she grasped the object, a sudden gust of wind shook the branches of the tree, causing the object to slip from her grasp and fall to the ground. As she looked down, she saw that it was a small key, unlike any she had ever seen before. Lily couldn't shake the feeling that this key was important in some way, and she decided to take it home with her to investigate further. As she walked back to her cottage, she couldn't help but wonder what the key might unlock. Perhaps it was the key to a treasure chest or a hidden door in the forest. The possibilities seemed endless. She couldn't wait to show the key to her parents and get their thoughts on what it might open. But little did she know that her discovery would lead her on an incredible adventure beyond her wildest dreams. Lily's parents were just as curious as she was about the mysterious key. Her father examined it closely, turning it over in his hand and running his fingers along its intricate carvings. Her mother suggested that they ask the village elder, who was known for her wisdom and knowledge of the ancient forest. Excited by the prospect of solving the mystery of the key, Lily and her parents set out to find the village elder. They traveled for many hours through the dense forest, following the winding path that led to the elder's home. When they arrived, the elder welcomed them warmly and listened intently as they explained their discovery. After examining the key, the elder told them a story of an ancient castle, long lost to time and hidden deep within the forest. According to legend, the castle was home to a powerful sorcerer who had been banished by the villagers many years ago. It was said that the sorcerer had left behind a great treasure, but that it could only be found by someone who possessed the key that Lily had found. The story sent shivers down Lily's spine. Could it be true? Was the key really the key to a treasure hidden deep within the forest? The elder advised them to be careful, for the forest was full of dangers and they would need to be clever and brave to succeed on their quest. With her heart beating fast with excitement and anticipation, Lily knew that she was ready for the challenge. Lily and her family set out early the next morning, following the elder's directions to the ancient castle. As they walked deeper into the forest, they encountered many obstacles along the way. They had to cross a raging river, climb steep cliffs, and navigate through treacherous swamps. Despite these challenges, Lily and her family pressed on, driven by their curiosity and desire to uncover the secrets of the castle. Along the way, they met many strange and wonderful creatures, including talking animals and magical beings, who offered them guidance and assistance on their journey. As they approached the castle, they could feel the magic in the air. The castle was surrounded by an invisible force field, which made it impossible to enter. But Lily knew that the key was the answer. With trembling hands, she inserted the key into the lock on the castle gate, and with a loud creak, the gates slowly opened. They had made it inside the castle. But what secrets and treasures lay within its walls? Lily and her family entered the castle cautiously, unsure of what they would find inside. The castle was dark and musty, with cobwebs stretching across the walls and the floors covered in dust. But as their eyes adjusted to the dim light, they saw that there was treasure everywhere. Golden coins, jewels, and ancient artifacts littered the room, shining in the soft light of the sun that filtered through the castle's broken windows. They were overwhelmed by the sight of it all, and for a moment they stood frozen in amazement. But their wonder was short-lived, for suddenly they heard a low growl coming from one of the castle's many hallways. They realized that they were not alone in the castle, and that someone, or something, was watching them. Lily and her family drew their weapons, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The sorcerer laughed wickedly as he saw Lily and her family approaching him. He conjured up a powerful spell that sent a barrage of fireballs hurtling towards them. Lily and her family dodged and weaved their way through the fiery onslaught, their hearts pounding with fear and adrenaline. With each step they took, Lily and her family could feel the sorcerer's power growing stronger. But they knew they couldn't give up. Lily remembered the stories of the ancient heroes who had defeated powerful sorcerers before. She knew that they had to be clever and use their wits to outsmart the sorcerer. Lily quickly scanned the room, searching for anything that might give them an advantage. Her eyes fell on a statue of an ancient warrior, who was holding a sword and shield. She realized that they could use the statue as a weapon against the sorcerer. With all her might, Lily ran towards the statue and toppled it over, sending it hurtling towards the sorcerer. The statue smashed into the sorcerer's shield, causing him to stumble backwards. Lily and her family took this opportunity to strike, charging towards the sorcerer with their weapons raised high. The battle raged on for what seemed like hours. Lily and her family fought bravely, their determination and courage never faltering. But the sorcerer was a powerful foe, and they were beginning to tire. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Lily noticed something strange. The sorcerer's power seemed to be weakening. His spells were less potent, and his movements were sluggish. It was as if he was losing his magic. Lily realized that the sorcerer's power was tied to the treasure in the castle. As they had taken more and more of the treasure, the sorcerer had grown weaker. With renewed hope, Lily and her family pressed on, determined to defeat the sorcerer once and for all. Lily and her family continued to fight the sorcerer with renewed vigor. They could see that he was growing weaker and weaker with each passing moment, and they knew that they had to act quickly if they wanted to defeat him. Suddenly, the sorcerer let out a blood-curdling scream and collapsed to the ground. Lily and her family had finally defeated him. They let out a triumphant cheer and collapsed onto the ground, exhausted but exhilarated. As they caught their breath, Lily and her family realized that they had accomplished something truly amazing. They had defeated a powerful sorcerer and saved the treasure of the castle. But they also knew that their adventure was far from over. The treasure was still there, waiting to be collected. They knew that they had to be careful, for there were likely many more traps and dangers waiting for them. But they were also excited to see what other wonders the castle held. With a newfound sense of confidence and determination, Lily and her family picked themselves up and began to explore the castle once again. They knew that there was still so much to discover, and they couldn't wait to see what other adventures lay ahead. As Lily and her family continued their exploration of the castle, they found themselves uncovering treasure after treasure. Each room seemed to hold some new wonder or mystery, and they were in awe of the beauty and richness of the castle. But as they approached the final chamber, Lily and her family felt a sense of foreboding. They knew that this was the moment they had been waiting for, the culmination of their journey. With trembling hands, they pushed open the doors of the final chamber and gasped in amazement. The room was filled with gold and jewels, glittering in the light of the setting sun. But in the center of the room, there was a pedestal with a single object on it. Lily and her family approached the pedestal with trepidation, unsure of what they would find. But as they drew closer, they could see that the object was a small, shimmering crystal. As Lily picked up the crystal, she felt a surge of energy flow through her. She knew that this crystal was more than just a piece of treasure. It was a symbol of their journey, a reminder of their bravery and determination. With tears in her eyes, Lily turned to her family and held up the crystal. "We did it," she said. "We defeated the sorcerer and found the treasure. But more than that, we found something even greater. We found ourselves." Her family nodded in agreement, their faces filled with pride and happiness. Together, they had faced countless challenges and overcome incredible obstacles. But through it all, they had never lost sight of what was truly important. As they left the castle and began their journey home, Lily and her family knew that they would never forget their adventure. They would always remember the lessons they had learned, the friendships they had formed, and the treasures they had discovered. For they knew that the greatest treasure of all was the love and courage that had carried them through.